Hey, this is Russell, and I work at the video store, the place that we can go to every week when it's movie night. On days like today, when the store is quiet, I get to chat to my friends about the films and the series that we're loving. All right, let's do it. Let's open up the shop.
Did you see that thing yesterday on the TV? It was ready, interesting!
How's it?
Good morning.
Howdy.
All right, we got ourselves a full house
That was a bit
behind the
cacophonous.
counter here. Welcome to the video store. Thank you for wandering in to our lovely video store. It's raining. It's mizzy. We've been getting a lot of rain here in Joburg.
Mizzy.
It's very
You're Australian. It's mizzy out there.
It's very mizzy.
Yeah.
But so hopefully we can find you something to watch
Yes.
in this very much movie weather here in Joburg. We've got ourselves a G-Force,
Good morning.
who is an editor and very much the producer of this show. We've got ourselves a P-Dog,
Hello.
who is very tired because he's one of those movie nerds that stay up and watch the Oscars when they happen live.
I'm mad with Cole because he's like, let's do 10 o'clock. And I was like, so I fell asleep and I'm like super tired.
Did you
So
wake
fuck
up?
you, Cole.
Did you wake up early or did you pull an all-nighter?
All-nighter, baby.
Wow.
You could have just woken up at 3.
Oh, no, it started at 2 this time.
Started at
so
2.
my
Oh,
plan
God.
was
Right.
thrown out of
my
whack.
God.
I was like, fuck.
All right, so that's why you're here, and that's why you
Yeah.
work here. You also do lots of other things in the film world and industry.
Yeah.
And we've got ourselves a Cole Matthews,
Hey.
who is a creative copywriter. And then you've got yourself a me, which is Russell. I am the owner of the Bioscope, which is
Yes.
an independent cinema here in Johannesburg. And we're all very excited. This is our Oscars episode. So the Oscars happened last night. We still have Perrin nodding off. And so we're obviously going to talk the most about the Oscars.
Yes.
That's going to be the main attraction. I still think there's a couple of other things to talk about. I've got 2 TV shows that I
okay.
think you guys will be very keen on. Cole, you are going to love one of them in particular.
Cool.
And then we also do our movie news, which is our quick rapid fire, hey, did you guys see? So I think we should waste no time
Cool.
and get into that straight away. All right. Hey, did you guys see Gene Hackman died?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Damn.
kind of all know that, I think. That certainly penetrated.
Yep.
It was a little weird to continue reading the article and realize that he died at the same time as his wife and his dog.
Yes.
Um,
Very strange.
Yeah.
Gad
it's
chimed
bizarre.
in when on our chat to say it was most likely a gas leak. Is that right? Do we
Yeah,
know?
I think
so
that was
they-
maybe speculation.
Yeah, autopsy has found there's no sign of that. So
Weird.
And so therefore we default to where both myself and Cole went, which was Suicide Pact,
Yeah.
which is dark.
yeah.
And then the
Should we talk about this on air?
No,
I
don't
know.
think
No, I
so.
know.
Yeah.
It's
It
not
just got
funny.
dark pretty quickly.
No,
Yeah.
but my brain went to the same place, which
Yeah.
was like the dog coordinated it.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous. No, but obviously we just joke here. But for the last
What a legacy, hey?
yeah, and for the
Yeah.
last many years of his life, we were sort of
Yeah, he
shielded. We didn't see him.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
been-
he retired like 20 years
Yeah,
ago.
but he retired without like making a fuss about it. Like he
Yes.
just stopped appearing
Right.
in
Yeah.
movies.
And his
Yeah.
wife, I think, was particular about
their privacy.
their privacy.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting.
Should we quickly talk about name our favorite Gene Hackmans?
Oh.
I don't necessarily have
2.
one. Okay, quick, let's go.
It's a tie between. You got to do French Connection.
Same.
Oh, yeah.
Conversation and the Birdcage.
Birdcage.
yes, Birdcage. That's
Forget he was
movie.
in the birdcage.
Yeah, he's the
Conservative.
conservative politician.
Yes.
Okay.
One of my favorite moments in that movie is when he's forced to be in drag,
yes.
and you have to double take. You're like, "Oh, that's Gene Hackman."
Oh,
Crimson
that's
Tide's
funny.
great as well.
What
Yeah,
about
Crimson Tide's good.
Unforgiven, Graham?
Oh,
Oh, I forgot he was in
Oh,
that.
You loved that movie.
It's a great movie.
it's a
Yeah.
fucking great movie.
And Russ, for you, it'll
Sure.
probably be Royal Tenenbaums.
I mean, that's the
Oh.
obvious one.
Yeah.
He's
For
the
me-
lifeblood of that movie.
Yes.
He's so good in that.
Yeah. Shit. All right. Do you guys have other ones? I've got one or two.
Yeah, I can do one. Hey, did
Okay.
you guys see that Technicolor is shutting down?
Okay.
Yeah, so Technicolor is probably best known for inventing color in film, but
Yes.
subsequently to that, they've really gotten heavily involved in the visual effects industry.
Okay.
So
So
they
they're-
own,
They're an actual company by that name.
yes, Technicolor. They own MPC, who's the visual effects company who did like The Lion King and The Jungle Book.
That's
Disney,
a
the
bummer.
Disney live actions.
Yeah, and they own The Mill as well. They like, and all these companies are, who knows what's going to happen to them now? Like massive visual effects studios.
It's
Yes.
ironic that Technicolor is behind the visual effects of Lion King and Jungle Book, which were very bland, visual, colorless movies. You know
Perrin,
what I mean?
you need to go to sleep, bro.
Jungle Book was nice.
The
Yeah, I
Jungle
like
Book.
Jungle Book.
Are you talking about the live adaptation?
Yeah.
that was at least that was cool.
Oh,
Okay,
I'd like
feel
that.
lost,
I'm
yeah.
remembering wasn't it like super like grim looking? Oh fuck!
You might be thinking of the Andy Serkis one.
I'm thinking of
The
Mowgli.
Netflix one,
Yeah,
yes.
Mowgli. Yeah.
Okay, well that's sad.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
but
don't know
hopefully
what's
it's a
gonna-
restructuring of sorts.
Apparently, they couldn't find investors to like
Oh god.
bolster the company.
That
So
sucks.
Hey, did you guys see Francis Ford Coppola's Razzie acceptance post?
Saw
Oh
some
my
of it, yeah.
goodness.
Did you?
Yeah.
No.
Did everyone read it?
No.
Okay, I'm just going to give you some of the highlights. This is on his Instagram. In the wreck of a world today where art is given scores as if it were professional wrestling, I choose to not follow the gutless rules laid down by an industry so terrified to risk that despite the enormous pool of young talent at its disposal, may not create pictures that will be relevant and alive 50 years from now.
I have a lot to say about that,
Yeah.
especially with Megalopolis.
I was about to say he's not wrong, but make a good movie to back it up.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure. Make
Shit.
one this decade.
I mean, Russ, you made a good point that when he's, I don't know if it was you or Graeme or Cole, but like, I just named literally everyone here. Coppola worked best when he was under restrictions to like, if he doesn't get this made, it's like all over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Megalopolis, there was no pressure to make it because it was all entirely self-funded. And he had no one coming in being like, whoa, this is fucking dreadful. You should fix it here.
Yes.
The only original screenplay that he had done that was like fucking amazing was The Conversation. And that's part of his... In the 70s, I regard Coppola is untouchable. Like, probably the best filmmaker of the 70s. Because he had Godfather 1 and 2,
Yeah.
The Conversation, and Apocalypse Now.
and
That
the
is
conditions that he made Godfather
monstrous.
under were
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, he was
Yeah.
hand to mouth.
Apocalypse Now even worse.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean...
that's
uh,
the documentary about the making of that.
Yeah, Hearts of Darkness.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Wow.
Like, so yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah.
Hey, did you guys see that John Lithgow is going to be Dumbledore?
Yes.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Good casting.
Shit, sorry, I haven't heard that. That's so good.
Yeah.
I love John Lithgow
This is
so
incredible.
much.
This is in this crazy big upcoming Harry
yeah.
Potter TV show,
Which
Yeah.
what are they doing?
which
Yeah,
seems
why the
wild.
fuck are they doing
I
that?
don't understand why they're making it. They shouldn't make it, and they don't need to make it. But good casting.
Yeah,
I know the whole
Him.
vibe is because it's now going to be more like a bigger. It's going to be an adaptation of the actual books. So like all the stuff that was
neglected because of runtime.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like weirdly neglected. Like Kira complains about it to me all the time.
Yeah, we all
in the
have
movies.
those people in our lives.
a lot of extra characters, a lot of extra stories that we
Yeah.
obviously had to miss. But it'd be cool if it actually is quite a big difference.
Yeah,
You know, if the scenes that we know
Yeah.
are downplayed or kind of shortened
Yeah.
and the other parts are heightened, it could be cool. It's like
Harry Potter, did you put your name into the goblet of fire?
he said calmly.
Yes.
the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood book that
Oh,
Tarantino
yes.
read. It's like the main plot points, the home invasion scene is like a paragraph. The
Yeah.
rest of the book is all the other extra stuff.
Yeah.
So he knew that you'd be reading this as a fan of him, having seen the movie. So it wasn't just a retelling of the movie.
Yeah, you have to do something new with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 300 pages of feet.
Yeah.
The rest of the story, baby.
Yeah, if anyone, I bet there'll be fans who have something to say about that. There always are.
Oh,
Yeah.
But they should just go watch him play Churchill in The Crown.
Oh, right.
Who, Quentin Tarantino?
No, we've moved
We should stop the
Nazis. We should do this, Sharon Tate.
You know, oh my god.
You're talking about Lithgow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's
Um,
great in that.
But speaking of Lithgow and speaking of conclave and the Pope. Hey, did you guys see the Pope's not actually doing that
Yes.
well?
Yeah.
I did
The
hear
actual
about
Pope
that.
is a bit sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it comes strangely timed around conclave
And
being in the Oscars, which is all about the
exactly.
the picking of a new Pope.
Yes.
One of which was John Lithgow as a contender.
Yeah.
And my friend Chris just went to the Italy around that area for a 3-week vacation.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, fuck. Now the
wonder-
city is just like full of people.
Yeah.
Like, because
Jeez.
those crowds that in that event.
Vatican, yeah.
Yeah, it's
nuts.
it's an interesting moment, and of course, what's very interesting about the film Conclave, which was up for one of the Oscars that we up for many Oscars, which we're going to talk about today, is that you actually don't see the crowds. It's all internal. It's all
You only
in
hear
the.
them.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very interesting choice. I've just realized that
Right.
now that you actually never see the crowds gather. Obviously, that would cost a lot of
Yeah,
money to
because
do,
it's
but
like-
also
Yeah.
it was a choice to keep it, in these sacred rooms as they have to vote on a new pope.
Yes.
It's like we always see on the news what's happening outside. We're never let into the Holy of Holies, like the
Right.
conclave space, and that's what the film does so well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Banger.
Does anyone have any other Hey, did you guys see? Because otherwise we should get on to our Oscar chat.
I can quickly do this one. Hey, did you guys see we've got a very first brief look at Shrek 5,
Oh,
which
yeah.
looks very slightly different, which
It's
means
weird.
the internet is furious
Yeah.
because it's very slightly different.
They're gonna,
Oh, no.
they're gonna,
Very slightly.
Very slightly.
they're
like
gonna
they've-
bully them again.
They've
What is
like-
the differences?
They've just slightly changed the character designs, which of course is unacceptable
Yeah, the eyes look weird.
because I don't think it matters in the slightest.
Animation changes.
Yeah.
But
know?
but also
Design trends change.
you're also seeing there's that group of people where everyone hates Zendaya apparently.
Oh yeah, because Zendaya's in it as well.
Yeah, and of course it's just closeted racists, you know,
Yes.
and sexists. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, a woman that in our legacy. Blah, blah, blah.
Also, apparently, she's Shrek's daughter.
Yeah,
In the previous films, he had 3 kids, which leaves us to presume that 2 of them are dead.
They were eaten by Shrek.
Yes, there you go.
or just studying abroad. Yeah, let's see. It's
Get over it, internet. It doesn't matter.
2025 is going to be an interesting year, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff on its way.
I think that movie's only 2026.
2026. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit.
End of next year.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. Cool. Let's get into it.
Into the Oscars.
All right. P-Dog.
Cool.
All
All
right.
right.
What is your plan professionally, by the way? Are you just going to go to sleep after this?
I'll take a power nap, but I've got other things.
You got
to
to work.
Yeah.
All right. So
Got edits to do. And I've got
cinema is life.
to do my top 50 list, which is fucking destroying my soul right now.
You gotta,
Um,
you gotta
got
do
it.
it. It's
You got
No.
it. We're all waiting for
Like
it.
no, exactly. Like I told Kira, I'm like, yeah, I can't wait for all 3 people to read it and myself. But no, I do it for me essentially. Yeah, so I was really looking forward to it because Conan O'Brien is one of my idols growing up. I used to, when he was on CNBC Africa in his late slot.
Yes.
Yeah.
we used to tape those shows.
Yeah.
So, and he got weird and fucking strange in those shows,
Yeah.
and I've loved his Simpsons. Some of the best jokes were in.
Yeah,
like,
he was a
Conan.
writer for The Simpsons, for
Yeah,
those
Mr.
who
Plow,
don't know.
the monorail episode. Some of the best commentary tracks as well, if you can track down the DVDs.
Oh, yes.
Anyways, so he initially said that these Oscars weren't going to be as planned as the other ones in terms of hosting it. He was going to be more like,
Off the
fuck
cuff.
it, let's do this, right?
Yeah.
So it felt like that. It felt very loose, but there were also small little details that I really liked. So Nick Offerman was the announcer.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
But there were like fun little moments where he would mispronounce Amy Poehler on purpose. He's like Amy Puller, and then like
Okay.
move on from that. But yeah, Conan, his opening monologue was great.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah,
it was fine.
It wasn't too offensive, but it was offensive when it needed to be. He dragged the right people. He made some great jokes about Russia when Nora was dominating. He was like, "Oh wow, you see, so it's not Americans do want to stand up to powerful Russians," and the crowd was like, "Oh." And there was the other ones. Oh, when Flo won Best Animated Feature, he was like, Latvia just won their first Oscar. Balls in your court, Estonia. but then when the costume designer for Wicked won, first black man to win that award, he's like, balls in your court, Estonia.
My favorite was he gave Baby Girl a shout out. I just listened to the opening monologue. Have you heard the joke?
No.
He's like, Baby Girl wasn't nominated. He goes, in Baby Girl, Antonio Banderas played a man who couldn't give his wife an orgasm. It was his hardest role yet, like his most difficult role.
Yeah, and he's like, you should have come to me, man. But one of my favorite jokes as well at the halfway point, he goes, it's now the halfway point. That means Kendrick Lamar is going to come out and call Drake a pedophile. And he's like, and everyone's like, oh, and he's like, I'm lawyered up, don't worry about it. But yeah, there were great moments like that. There was a very quintessentially Conan moments that in the right mindset could flop quite significantly if you don't understand his humor.
Yeah.
So one of the bits was the sandworm from Dune studied at the Juilliard and played the pianos in his I Won't Waste Time skit, which is a musical number. But ironically, so the highlights, Conan was great. The speeches, there were some phenomenal speeches. Kieran Culkin telling his wife he's like, you promised me a full child if I won an Oscar. Yeah. Do you remember saying that? And she was like, oh shit. And he was like, yeah, Oscar time, baby.
Time to deliver.
That was a great speech. But the best and most important speech of the night was No Other Land, the Palestinian Israeli co-production.
Yeah, this one best documentary.
Yeah, we knew that was going to win. It was either going to be that or Porcelain War, which is about Ukraine. But that was important because it's an Israeli and Palestinian filmmaker.
Wow.
And the Palestinian was... the speech was just really powerful. But it was important what the Israeli guy said because he even straight up was like, I have rights he doesn't in Israel. And he straight up was like, he's like, the hostage situation is terrible, but the genocide is terrible as well.
Yeah.
Like he was basically saying you can't be outraged by the one without being outraged by the other.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people need to hear that.
Yeah, and I just know all those pro-Zionists are going to call him a Jew-hating Israeli.
Yeah,
like
sure, but let's
but I mean, but
not
anyways,
waste time on what the sort of the people say. Let's just talk about what we heard last night.
But that was an incredible speech, really important. Obviously Latvia winning their first Oscar was really lovely.
Cool.
Shout out to me about 5 episodes where I said Lithuania.
Right.
I got them confused.
Common mistake.
So yeah, I was very happy about that. But overall, I was very happy about how things went. The lowlights, the shame. I love Adrian Brody, but his speech was way too fucking long. He got played off, but he was like, no, he was funny. He's like, I've done this before.
Do you remember him doing it the last time?
Yeah, he's like, this isn't my first rodeo. But then like he just kind of dragged it on a bit. So everyone else after that like rushed kind of.
Okay.
But I mean, there were very few lowlights, if I'm being totally honest.
Cool.
Kieran Culkin shouting out to his fellow cast member from Succession, Jeremy Strong. He was like, you're fucking great. And he's like, oh, I swore. Whoops. And like, it was a very typically Kieran Culkin speech.
Yeah.
But Sean Baker was wonderful from start to finish. The only lowlights, 2 lowlights. So ironically, Conan had the whole "I'm not going to waste time" musical joke bit, but then there were 2. There was the James Bond
joke. Yeah, it was a
the James Bond musical tribute thing. I don't know why.
I thought you were talking about the comment in the beginning where he sort of announced some weird dude in Amazon as the James Bond. It was kind of funny, maybe a bit of a waste of time.
But I think...
Sorry, he did a musical number?
No, he didn't. So it was a James Bond tribute music thing. Doja Cat sang, which is an odd choice. I don't know. But anyways.
Doja Cat doesn't scream James Bond.
Yeah, it was
but also 2024 has got nothing to do with James Bond.
Yeah, so it feels like, I don't know if Amazon bought that slot.
100%.
Yes, definitely.
100%.
Because they've taken control of James Bond, obviously.
Yeah, they want to remind... So it's a classic marketing.
Yeah.
They want to put it back in the consciousness. They want to have people talk. They want to have it discussed. They need to sort of bring it back.
The hype.
They need to bring it back from the dead long before they say anything.
And I mean, the thing is like, because I read that they were saying that, it was a tribute to the broccolis, not the vegetable. They didn't
Yes.
have like the vegetable and go, what a
Yeah, this
vegetable, you know?
general knowledge bit is missing from my knowledge. Who are the Broccoli's?
So they were the family that owned the rights to
They
James
were,
Bond.
they were always the producers. It was Albert
Yeah.
Broccoli.
It
Albert
was him
was
and his
the,
Hubby
wife.
Broccoli.
and
yeah.
then it got put down to the daughter. who's-
Yeah.
So they've
Barbara
been
Broccoli.
managing the and holding the IP of James Bond
And had creative control.
and had creative control
Yeah.
for something like 60 odd
Yeah,
years,
for
right from the
decades.
beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people are worried that obviously Jeff Bezos, because he started out with who should play James Bond, and of course all the fans are like Henry Cavill. But I love Henry Cavill, but
We'll
Let's
see.
focus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
sorry. Anyway, so that tribute was strange. It didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
And then the In Memorial was fantastic. Morgan Freeman came out and introduced it, starting with Gene Hackman, because they were very
Yeah.
close.
Sure.
So it was a very touching tribute. There were notable people left out, unfortunately.
Yeah, they always are.
Tony Todd from Candyman, obviously. And
Wow.
a woman from Buffy that died.
Michelle
Oh.
Trachtenberg.
Yeah.
Recently,
Yes.
hey.
So like people were upset about that, but there's always going to be someone left out.
Yeah.
But it
But
was
that was like recent, so you can't
Yeah.
really. They'd have to re-edit it and
but
stuff. You know?
Gene Hackman was also recent. But Gene Hackman,
It's Gene
no
Hackman,
offense,
yeah.
it's Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
You know.
But also big highlight was Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande's opening
Yes.
number was incredible. Holy crap, they both are so good live. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like I've always known Ariana Grande to be that good live, but holy crap, like blew me away. But yeah, it was a good night,
Cool.
man. Yeah.
Lovely. Cool. I'm glad
Yeah.
you put in the time.
Yeah. Yeah, Conan at one point said, he's like, if you're still enjoying the Oscars, you have something called Stockholm Syndrome.
Where would you rank Conan as a host?
Look, he's not Billy Crystal. And he even says, because Billy Crystal presented the last award with Meg Ryan. And
Cool.
he even said he was like the greatest Oscar host ever. And Billy Crystal was my host growing up.
Yeah,
So,
me
yeah,
too.
yeah.
I mean, we're of
All
that
of us.
age.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't have Bob Hope because he was well before my time. He
Yeah.
did 19.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I still think he was good. I think he might have been a bit too weird for most people's tastes. I think a lot of the jokes were like so like they were like
Conan was
yeah.
too weird.
No, yeah, Conan. I think because I fucking love Conan, so I was loving it. But
Yeah.
I could hear a lot of the people in the audience didn't quite get some of the.
It is a
things
bit
that he was doing.
off kilter.
It's very niche.
There was one year where they made a really cool decision, which was to have previous winners stand in that semicircle and introduce the nominees of the category,
okay.
So they
which I
still,
thought was a really smart choice. Did they do that
Yes.
again this
So
year?
they still do that with the acting categories.
Okay, so they did that last
Yeah,
night.
the way they presented the awards is great. I loved it. Like
Okay.
for costumes, for instance, cast members introduced it. So Bowen Yang was the only one in costume. He's like, guys, I thought we agreed to this, and they're like, no, we thought it'd be cringe, so they didn't do it. But yeah, that was really cool. Tarantino announced Best Director. He is cocaine incarnate.
Yeah, he is. It's nuts.
Yeah, he was he was
Okay.
very Ridley Scott,
Okay.
Quentin Tarantino. But yeah, overall, it moved nicely. Just Adrian Brody's speech slowed everything down towards the end.
Interesting.
So
All
I
right.
was like, I want to go to bed.
Okay, let's do a quick brush through the categories.
Yes.
Graham,
Graham, you lead the charge, baby.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going through them in the list, in the order that is on the official Oscars website.
Cool. All
So
right.
we're beginning with Best Actor in a Leading Role.
Yeah.
So we have Timothy Chalamet, Coleman Domingo, Ralph Fiennes, Sebastian Stan, and the winner, as we said, Adrian Brody.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Who here has actually seen The Brutalist?
I have.
Oh, of course you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
have.
I have screened it
Yeah.
at my
yes.
cinema,
You haven't seen
but
it
I
yourself.
haven't had the time to watch
Okay.
it.
Okay, let's make a
Um,
date, guys.
Yeah,
We're
let's
gonna
do
watch
it.
it.
Yeah, it is screening at the Bioscope in the week
Okay.
that this episode is coming out. This coming Saturday.
Yes.
I have to carve out 4 hours in our schedule for it.
Yeah.
Because it is almost 4 hours. So we haven't had the chance to screen too much of it, but it's always been popular when we have.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
It should have been Coleman Domingo.
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
agree.
seen
Totally
it.
agree.
That was
dude.
my choice too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
having seen all the nominees,
Really?
Coleman was my favorite by far. I
It
think
was special, man.
It was incredible.
it's a special performance. I think I'm just baffled that A24 didn't push harder for Sing Sing,
Yeah.
like at all.
But maybe they did. It's just this is the world we live in. Is
They,
that if we're outside of those bubbles?
but the thing is, Sing Sing's release schedule was bizarre. Like barely anyone saw it.
Very interestingly, it got released in prisons.
Yeah.
And one of the first movies to do
Yeah.
so.
Wow.
It had a prison wide release,
Wow.
which is cool.
Yeah.
And it's important. It's an
It's one of
important
those
movie.
that for everyone outside of prison, this movie very briefly has you understand what it feels like to be trapped
Yeah.
and to be stuck in prison.
Yeah.
And then I would imagine for anyone in prison, watching this movie would help you understand your way out,
Yes.
both literally and figuratively.
Yeah. I think, my call was Chalamet. I know you did as well,
I
Graeme.
believed
Yeah.
Chalamet would win it
Yeah.
just purely by
the
the
SAG.
well, just also by the sort of popular vote. You know,
Yes.
people would want to see this kind of new young buck make his way. Brody's
Yeah.
already got his.
Yeah, exactly. But one of the two anonymous voter ballots didn't vote Ray Fiennes because they were mistaken that he had won
Oh.
before.
Because they thought that he won it for Schindler's List.
He should have won, but Tommy Lee
Yeah.
Jones won for playing Tommy Lee Jones.
Weird.
Next category.
Okay, so but next category is actor in a supporting role. So we
Oh.
have Yura Borisov,
Oh, he was
Edward
great.
Norton, Guy Pearce, Jeremy Strong, and Kieran Culkin, who
Strong
won.
category, yeah.
Yeah, no, and
It's a good lineup.
I think we knew that one was pretty locked in.
Yeah, the supporting actor categories are always locks, like early, like actress and actor. For over the past 10 years, it's always been determined so early on because
Yeah.
they don't lose anywhere else on the road.
Yeah.
But it's a lovely role because if you're in a comedic film, to be the supporting actor, you get to always be funny.
Yes.
You know, or you get to always be witty, where your main character is often the nuanced straight man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it is an easier one to see.
But I still think Clarence Macklin from Sing Sing
He
should
should
have
have
at
been there.
least gotten a nomination.
Yeah.
At least.
I would have put him there as well.
Yeah.
But yes, it's such a strong category. I mean,
It is a-
Jeremy
it is a
Strong
good
is
lineup.
phenomenal as Roy Cohn. Jesus.
Still haven't seen that as well.
Yeah, it's what's so good about The Apprentice is, especially from Sebastian Stan's point of view, is that he doesn't turn Trump into a caricature, which is so easy to do. He makes him feel like a real person, and it makes it scarier.
Nice.
Yeah,
That The Apprentice to me feels like it'll be a lovely historical document.
Yeah.
yeah.
It'll be one of those that wasn't quite recognized at the time, but when we look back, we'll be like, interesting. Because
Yeah.
we're going to try and look for these kinds of artifacts.
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
film would be one of them.
And I just love Sebastian Stan making it so hard to break out of the MCU machine,
Yeah.
and he makes such interesting choices, and I love Sebastian Stan.
Yeah. Okay. Next category is actress in a leading role.
Oh,
So we
in
have
a
so
leading role.
fucking happy about this
Cynthia
one.
Erivo, Carla Sofia Gascon, Demi Moore, Fernanda Torres, and the winner, Mikey Madison.
Yeah, it's cool though.
Excellent.
So happy. I mean, look,
I think everybody thought it was going to be Demi Moore.
yes.
yeah, yeah. It's Demi. Yeah.
To me, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like she had her little moment, which is cool to see the recognition.
Yeah.
And for her to get like a little bit of a nod, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then you watch Nora and you can't deny Mikey Madison.
That performance, so Demi Moore is so good in The Substance, but because for my list I had to rewatch everything. And
Had to.
Yeah, I had to. Fuck off.
You put so much pressure on yourself.
No, I really do. I'm an anxious ball of mess. And Mikey Madison in Anora is just unbelievable. It's a star-making turn. It deserves the Oscar. It's the best fucking performance of the year. I mean, shit, I'm dying to see I'm Still Here.
Yes.
Which I can't access,
It's no way.
unfortunately. But Mikey Madison, the way she just handles it's a physical performance that is also so nuanced. Like she's angry and she's quiet and she's reflective, and that final scene in the fucking car is just
Yes, yes.
perfection.
So vulnerable as
It's
well.
it's
Heartbreaking.
that scene for me is what the film is about.
Yeah.
It's about making a human connection and about like
and also for me what it's about is that's the only language she knows.
exactly
Yeah.
that's the whole point.
That's
right?
the only way she knows to sort of say thank you or or what she expects men to want. It's so nuanced, and then of course when it ends in tears, and just also the way the movie ends.
Yeah, with no music. It's just the sound of the wipers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I was watching that as a
incredible.
cinema owner, immediately I was like, this is going to be a tough box office because you leave it sad and heartbreaking, which you should. In good art, it's meant to kind of punch you in the gut. It's meant to do these things, despite this movie actually being quite fun. Quite silly,
Right.
quite fun escapades, but it leaves you a little heartbroken. And then immediately was like, I don't think this movie is going to do incredibly well at the box office.
Yeah.
Where also, if people watched a film like Better Man, for example, it leaves you going, "Fuck, that's
Yeah,
great."
that was awesome.
And same as Challenges.
Yeah.
It just leaves you going, "Fuck, that's cool." And you just want to go and tell someone.
That final scene is also just an example of really incredible writing. Is that one of the major points in a film is you establish what your protagonist wants and what they think they need. And then in the final arc moment where the character arcs is when they realize what their actual unconscious need is, right? So that in that moment, in that scene, we see what she actually needs, and it just ends. It's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
No, lovely. And so, we are going to do screenings.
Nice.
At the Bioscope, I left these gaps just ahead of the Joburg Film Festival, which is coming next week. I just left these gaps for whatever was going to win Best Picture. And so it was cool. We've done screenings of Honora before, so I just quickly duplicated them.
Nice.
So those are on sale Friday and next Tuesday.
Okay, link in the description.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so now animated feature film.
Ah, yes. baby.
Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, The Wild Robot, and the winner was Flow.
Another stacked category.
Yeah,
I haven't
it
seen
was a
Flow.
Good year. Neither have
Flow
I.
is incredible. So Wild Robot's beautiful, but so I called Flow would win. You guys are like, no, it won't, you fool. And it did, you motherfuckers. No, you guys didn't behave that way. But Flow, just the way it was made on such a limited resources, on money, on everything. It's just so great that it's so good to see that the animation category is now finally being respected. So over the years, it's always been a category that has been treated as a kiddies movie category, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So voters, especially anonymous voters, which are either they're so maddening to read, but often they would be like, "Oh, I just let my kid choose the winner of that category."
And it's often gone to the Pixar films,
Yeah.
sort of
Or
the
Disney,
big budget
Default,
ones.
Yeah.
And so, as we said earlier, Flow is Latvian,
Yeah, it's a super low budget.
and
movie.
there's
Those-
no speaking.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all animals. What's the sort of loose story?
So the loose story is there's a black cat, which apparently the cat is named Flo, and it's in a humanless world. We don't know what's happened. It's clearly post-apocalyptic, but we don't
Oh,
know where the
cool.
humans have gone.
Okay.
But nature's regained the planet basically, and what's happening is this impending flood throughout the movie. The movie's just a flood scene. So this cat is forced to make friends and team up with other unusual animals to survive, and that's a Labrador, a capybara,
Capybara.
a bird, a giant like stork kind of bird
There's a
thing.
crane.
Yeah, a crane, and Madagascar. What are those?
Like a lemur.
Lima.
Okay.
And it's just beautiful because also the animals behave like animals.
Cool.
There's no dialogue needed to put anything across. But what I love most about it, and that's what Boy and the Heron did so well, is that it doesn't feed you answers.
Okay.
There are things that happen where it's left to you to interpret it. These
Cool.
specific visions and stuff like that. It doesn't tell you what it means. And I love that about movies like that. I mean,
Yeah.
Boy and the Heron last year beat what everyone thought was going to be Spider-Man. And
Sure.
that's why I feel like the category is now being taken seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nice to see one that seems to actually deserve it. This is a pretty egregious category for like why you giving it that one. 2014 is the one I always think about. We spoke about this last week actually, where you had How to Train Your Dragon 2, the Lego Movie, Tale of the Princess Kaguya,
Oh my
and
God.
Big Hero 6-1,
Yeah.
which is like, what are you talking
Yeah, they always
about?
go for safe bets, right?
Yeah.
So that's it's also this category, Memoir of a Snail, it's nice to see more adult-themed animated films in there.
Yeah.
I mean, a few years ago, Flea should have won Best Animated Feature. Actually, it was an animated documentary about a refugee in Denmark. But anyways, A Memoir of a Snail, it's stop motion. It's extremely depressing. I think it's a bit of misery porn, but it's nice to see movies, like serious animated films like that, be in the category.
Because Inside Out 2 could have won just based purely on popularity.
It's still a great
It
movie.
was one of
Jeepers.
the highest grossing animated films of all time.
Yes.
Until our Chinese friend came and
Yes.
beat it. So it could have been a shoe-in, but it wasn't.
Who was the Chinese friend?
There's this Chinese film we've been talking
The
about.
sequel.
Gad brought it up. It's like
No. It's called Zay something.
Measure 2 or something.
Measure 2 is now the highest grossing animated film of all time.
Wild.
It's made almost $2 billion.
In China alone.
dude.
Yeah, so it's the only film to ever earn $1 billion in a single market.
Yeah.
China.
Shit.
Yeah.
And we know next to
Fucking
nothing
hell.
As
about
Trump
it.
would say,
Yes.
China.
China.
But the Wild Robot would probably get my.
It would get my vote
if
just
like
because I
there
hadn't
was-
seen Flow.
I've
Yeah.
told you guys about the little playful Oscar win categories I've been inventing.
Oh, yes.
We always talk about gooey movies.
Yeah.
I think that's the best gooey movie of the year for me.
Okay.
It's just like sob from start to end.
Flow is sub central.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Sob
well,
central.
So I watched it with Kira because I needed to rewatch, and I was like, Kira, let's watch Flow, and she's like, okay. She was fucking sobbing she's like, oh, the cat's in distress. I'm like,
Was this yesterday or was this
no, this
weekend?
is a week ago. She was
Okay.
like done. She was like sobbing.
Yeah,
But,
I put my wife through Conclave yesterday.
was she sobbing uncontrollably?
No, she's like, it's a bit weird. It's a bit arty. It's a bit slow. She's like, it picked up. It picked up.
So it's good.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Anyways,
I wasn't wowed by it.
All right. Are we going to do short films?
Just quickly brush over it.
Okay.
The Bioscope every year does the Oscar-nominated short films.
Yes.
It's a big highlight. In the live action category, we had a South African film called The
Yes.
Last Ranger,
We'll get to
which
it.
sadly didn't win.
Yeah. But we have animated
Okay,
short
let's do
film.
animated first.
So we have Beautiful Men, Magic Candies, Wonder to Wonder, Yuck, and In the Shadow of the Cypress.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of any of these.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that these shorts happen and you don't get a chance to watch them, let alone all in the same place.
Yeah.
And that's why we screen them every year, so people
Yes.
get to see them.
Yeah, those are also very contentious categories for voters as well because they're so hard to access all of those films. It's almost impossible. The only categories that are really like almost more accessible is documentary short. There's always New Yorker or whatever.
Yeah, and those are
always posted
often
them.
made for social media or they're made
Yeah.
for news, and so
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
become a
so
bit more-
unless you don't have a festival at the Bioscope or VPN paying for this
Yeah.
viewing, you won't be able to watch
Yeah.
them.
Well, we've still got some more.
if you're not a
screenings.
voter, yeah,
Throw them up on YouTube distributors.
exactly.
you know what I mean?
You're not going to make money with them any other way. You put them on YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah.
Get a couple
People watching
million
it,
views.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure the animators themselves would prefer that.
Yeah.
as-
Yeah, I think these kinds of package license deals, which the Bioscope has, and I know it
Yes.
happens in other cinemas around the world. Perhaps there's a little bit of that, and then
Yeah.
hopefully they can live on in YouTube afterwards. Some of them actually are on Netflix and
Yeah.
are on Disney.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know the only girl in the orchestra or something. You know, these
Yeah, it's
little
on
shorts
Netflix,
that are on Netflix. So
So
there's
there's the Indian, the one Indian in
live action.
live
short.
action short, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Moving
Next
on.
one.
Cool. Cinematography.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, Nosferatu, and the winner was The Brutalist.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, as the only person who's seen The Brutalist, how do you feel
Yeah,
about that?
I mean, look, I don't think Greg Fraser was going to win again.
oh yeah, because he won for the first one.
Yeah, my theory
Okay.
is that Dune won 6 Oscars. It
Yeah.
only won 2 tonight. I think it's going to be a case of like Fellowship of the Ring, I think won 4 Oscars. Two Towers, I think only won 2 or didn't win any. And
Definitely
then-
won visual effects.
Yeah, and then Return of the King won 11. So
Yeah.
I think Messiah, it's due in Messiah. You know what I mean? Villeneuve, come on, baby. But
Come on, baby.
but I'm shocked Conclave wasn't nominated in this category, and I'm shocked Nickel Boys wasn't nominated.
Oh,
Nickel Boys should have
yes.
won. But I'm happy with Brutalist winning.
Okay, cool.
It's a great looking film.
Nice.
Yeah.
Emilia Perez doesn't look that great.
It's not a good movie.
Okay. Yeah, it's like just like visually, I'm like,
Yeah, there's so much wrong with that movie. It's got a lot of good intentions, but it's so insensitive, in
Misguided.
How it approaches it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's not focus on that one.
All right.
Okay.
We're moving on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Costume design.
Like,
Cool.
We have a complete unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and the winner was Wicked.
of course,
Lovely.
easy.
No, I think it
Yeah,
deserves that.
deserved.
I think that's a
Yeah,
good
I
choice,
agree.
yeah.
And I think it's also worth pointing out Conan O'Brien's heartfelt moment in the opening monologue, which is, it's very easy to see the Oscars as a bunch of pretty people coming together and patting each other on the back, and, you know, us it being this kind of vacuous, sort of silly parade, but in the wake of the fires and everything sort of happening in the world. But he's like, don't forget, this is very much about the craft.
Yeah.
And it's about the thousands upon thousands of people that aren't famous, that aren't pretty, that come and get these awards. And so these are the costume people. This is the wardrobe, the set, the makeup, the even the visual effects. It's this, don't forget, is a celebration of them.
Yeah, it's historic win as well. First black male to win costume design. It was a great moment and nice speech and well deserved. Great costumes.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Definitely.
Lovely.
All right, I'm going to skip directing. I'll do that second to last.
Cool.
So we have documentary feature film.
Yes.
Yeah,
we touched on
we,
that
we
briefly.
touched on that. So I
Yeah.
think let's also not.
Yeah, we don't have to.
We don't have to waste too much time. But it went to
No Other Land.
No Other Land.
Yes.
The only ones I haven't seen there is No Other Land and Porcelain War because it's hard to access. But I think it's an important win and it needed to win.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so documentary short was The Only Girl in the Orchestra.
Yeah, which is available.
Yeah, on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Okay,
yeah,
sick.
so go and watch it. Yeah.
So now we move on to film editing.
Cool.
The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and Anora won.
Okay,
Baker.
so at
Yes.
this point, Perrin, give us your very important nugget.
Okay,
Yes.
so if you want to win Best Picture, you have to be up for either editing or screenplay. I think actually both is...
And ideally win them.
Yeah, so essentially, it's very rarely has it happened if a film has won editing and a screenplay award have gone on to lose Best Picture.
Okay.
If it's split up, it's still... So I called differently for Best Picture. I called that Conclave would win editing.
Yes.
And adapted screenplay, which means it would win Best Picture. The moment Anora won original screenplay and editing, I knew Anora was going to win Best Picture.
Yes.
Sean Baker, editor, the dude won 4 fucking Oscars.
Right?
Yeah, it's worth mentioning
Shit.
because now we will get on and get to his other 4. But he is the first person in history to win 4
On one night, yeah.
4 Oscars on one night.
Alfonso Cuarón nearly did it for Roma, but Green Book beat him to Best Picture.
Yeah.
Wild.
So he's holding
Morons.
4 Oscars
Yeah.
in his name, man.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
And they're great speeches as well.
Okay.
I was going to say, Challenger should have at least been nominated.
Definitely.
For
Instead
edit-
of Wicked.
For editing.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of
Definitely.
Wicked,
Wicked's
definitely.
editing was not great.
No.
Yeah.
It irritated me.
No, we pointed that out, and then it
Yeah,
found
when
itself in
nominated,
the
just like-
category.
The Challenger's just fucks. It's so good. Oh my
It
god.
fucks on so many levels. dude.
Like, dude, without fucking at all, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly, that's the thing.
Oh
You're
my
watching
God.
sex on a tennis court. It's
Right?
amazing.
Yeah, it's so good on that music just pumping
Yeah,
in.
see.
Every conversation I want to have from now on, if there's any slight conflict, I just want fucking Trent Reznor techno music
Right.
coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Okay, Best International Feature. I was very confused by this for a second because I thought, wow, there's a lot of movies named after countries, and I realized they're listing the country and then the movie.
Yeah.
So,
We're in for a theme this year.
yes. Let's just go straight to the winner. I'm Still Here
Yeah.
from Brazil.
I really wanted Kneecap to be in the running. at
wasn't
least.
it?
No, it wasn't.
No, it
and
isn't.
it swept at things like the
BAFTAs,
BAFTAs
yeah.
and did all these things, and
Wild.
it felt like a shoe-in because it was one of those films that we screened at the end of last year, at the beginning of this year, and talking to the guy who bought the rights to it for South Africa,
Yes.
we kept speaking about, hopefully it will be in the Oscars. Hopefully it could win an Oscar. I think between all of us, we felt like it was a shoe-in, but
Yeah.
it was just a pity that it wasn't.
I would take Emilia Perez out and put that in there. If
Yeah.
there was any justice, I'm still here. I called that as well because the momentum for Emilia Perez just got swept away.
Yeah.
And so,
that I think the deserters from Emilia Perez went straight to I'm Still Here.
Right.
and that is a Brazilian film.
Yes.
Yeah. First,
yeah.
I think first Oscar for Brazil.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
City of God didn't even win, which is crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did Godzilla win last year?
No, it won Best Special
It was
Effects.
nominated, though, wasn't
Yes,
it? Okay.
it won Best Special
Oh,
Effects.
I wish Godzilla had won. Godzilla
yeah.
winning best a best feature at the Oscars is just such a delightful thought.
Yeah.
But that was a stacked category as
Yeah.
well. Important films. My favorite of the lot was Girl with the Needle. Very dark.
Okay.
That is coming to the Bioscope.
Oh.
We're screening it as part of the Joburg Film Festival.
Cool.
So yeah, I made a point of making sure that was going to be in the Bioscope
My
schedule.
people's movie. I'm Danish, so yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, cool.
Okay, makeup and styling, hairstyling. A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, Wicked, and the winner was The Substance.
Of course, had to be.
Oh,
It
yeah.
had to get something
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, it had to be.
Yes.
Absolutely no contest. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Sorry to Nosferatu because that was also pretty great. But
Yeah, I think also those categories it's generally what's the flashiest.
Yeah.
And they like to make a
Yes.
point whenever they announcing the nominees, they always like to make a point that these costumes are telling a story of this person and stuff. And yes, sure, but like The Substance definitely had that, like this character is slowly being fucking chipped away.
But it
eventually.
wasn't in visual effects. I mean, so much of it was practical. So that immediately
Yeah.
becomes
Yes.
makeup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
A body horror. It's
Yeah.
like, fuck, it's all makeup.
So good. Glad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also
Lekker.
like one of the few categories where horror kind of gets taken seriously.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay, music, original score. Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, The Wild Robot, and the winner was The Brutalist.
Deserved.
Cool.
Challenges should have been there and won.
Absolutely.
100%. It's yeah. I mean, music's supposed to drive. I mean, I'm not saying
it doesn't.
yeah.
But
Challenges should have been there instead of Wicked. I'm baffled that Wicked was there. I mean, I know
it's
apparently
also half of it's pre-written.
Yeah, exactly.
But the part that everyone's thinking about when they vote was written decades ago.
That's what I'm saying. That's I think people nominated because they thought, oh, all these cool songs.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, sure, there's enough new music there to qualify,
Yeah.
but it's not memorable.
Especially since it's a 2.5 hour long movie, and probably
Exactly.
less than an hour of that is going to be songs. So there's going to be more than an hour of
Exactly.
score.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the live action Lion King where you're like, you get one more Beyonce song and it's dog shit. It's like nobody remembers that song.
But
Okay.
yeah, challenges, man, should have been Oscar number 3.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, music, original song. The Journey, Like a Bird, Mi Camino, Never Too Late, and the winner was El Mel from Emilia Perez.
Should have gone to Elton.
All right.
Okay, he's always the better
Like a
songwriter.
bird, like a bird from Sing Sing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, that's
I
right.
don't remember it.
That's the closing credit song. Go
Yeah.
listen.
Okay.
Gary to piss tears.
Well, I was pissing tears, but I wasn't thinking about the
Aware
song.
of the effects.
Yeah,
Okay,
but yeah, that's a song category I never really care about because the songs
Yeah.
are usually
Unless
I
there's
don't
like
give
a
shit.
really particular song that like stands out
Yeah,
to you, which
I
there so
mean-
very rarely is, to be honest.
Like oh no, that was a cringe moment when Emilia Perez won Best Song. The composers went up and they sang the last part of their speech.
Oh,
Oh
was-
no!
Torture. I was like,
Oh no!
no.
And was it the "I have a vagina, you got a penis" part?
yeah, vagina to
Penis
penis.
of
bit,
vagina.
yeah. Hello, nice to meet you. I want to talk about a sex change
change
operation. Interesting though.
How the fuck do you win best song for that songwriting?
But
Yeah,
So interesting. Jacques
deaf Oscar voters.
Jacques Audier, the director, won his Oscar for that. He was one of the songwriters apparently. Which is
Stick to directing, bro.
it sucks because just one point on that. It's just such a bummer that his name is attached to that movie as such blatant awards bait movie because he's a fucking great filmmaker. He did
Really?
A Prophet. He did The Day My Heart Skipped a Beat. I think that's the title called. He's so fucking good. A Prophet is one of the best prison dramas ever made. It's so good.
Yeah.
He's such a great
No,
filmmaker.
yeah. So unfortunately, he's tied to it.
Anyways,
Best production design. The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and one by Wicked.
Of course.
Yeah, it makes some sense too. All those sets were practical.
The wizard head thing was fucking impressive.
Yes, it
Jesus.
was beautiful. But like, unless I'm missing something about the production of Conclave.
Yes.
Like, didn't Michelangelo do half of that work?
So
Why was it nominated?
good point. But
Did they recreate it?
from what they showed, yes. So
Okay.
that's one thing that I liked about what they did was they really like the music. They talked about the process behind writing the songs. Best Picture had the director talking about their intentions and stuff like that. So it was cool that they showed that like Conclave was all fucking most of it was rebuilt because
Yeah,
they
that
obviously
is
can't
impressive.
shoot in those places.
Yes.
But Wicked deserved it 100%.
That was beautiful.
My one contention with Wicked is if you look at like making of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of stuff that they built was replaced with CGI.
Oh yeah, fair
a
enough.
lot of it, like the big head you're talking about,
Really?
was
Oh,
CGI.
fuck off. That's
Because they couldn't actually make it like speak. It was like just too big to actually build
bummer.
that. So they had a real one there, but they replaced it with CGI to make it actually articulate. And even
Interesting.
like a lot of like the background sets and stuff were
It
replaced
was Christopher Nolan.
to make like bigger and stuff.
No, have you
Christopher
heard?
Nolan making Wicked is a hell of a thought.
Have you heard? So because he's doing the Odyssey, right?
Yes.
One of the fucking monsters, like the Cyclops, it's going to be practical.
Yes.
Apparently,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
I
I
also
really
wouldn't-
hope there is a Cyclops.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it will be.
I wouldn't be surprised if they also do like stop motion stuff.
Oh yeah,
That seems like very Chris Nolan, especially after the stop motion stuff they did in Skeleton Crew.
yes,
Looks so
Yeah,
good.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they go, okay,
That,
that can look incredible. Let's.
That like tulip field in Wicked
yeah,
was
that's all
real.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, funny enough, of Christopher Nolan and Fields.
Yeah.
They
Planted the wheat.
planted the wheat,
Yeah.
and they actually ended up making money as a
Oh,
production.
that's
Yes.
crazy.
Because
I
they
forgot about
harvested,
that.
they harvested it afterwards and sold it
Genius.
Crazy.
as like a commodity
Wow.
sale.
Just a note on this production design. We spoke about it before.
Yeah.
But Nathan Crowley, it's his first Oscar.
Really?
And his filmography, just for people that don't know.
So who was he for?
Oh, I
What
remember
film
this. I
was he on?
remember
For
this.
Wicked.
Okay.
And his filmography includes The Prestige, The Dark Knight, John Carter, Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, Westworld, Dunkirk, The Greatest Showman, First Man, Tenet, Wonka.
So he's
Yes,
due.
So like
Yeah.
an incredible production
Yeah.
designer, you know?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. Nice.
Cool. Moving on. Live action short film. One, but I'm getting for these ones. I'm just going to skip straight to the winner. I think. I'm Not a Robot. Again, a movie I've never heard of.
Apparently, it's really great.
Okay, well, won an
Dutch.
Oscar, so I would
Yeah,
assume so.
Dutch.
Okay, sound, which is a category they like changed a few recently.
Yeah.
Yes.
It used to be sound editing and sound
mixing.
design.
Yeah.
And they figured out that audiences don't know what that
But
is.
they don't give a shit, so
Yeah.
they
It
just
used to be
combined
two
them.
categories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's too much.
Yes. So we have A Complete Unknown, Amelia Perez, Wicked, The Wild Robot, and Dune Part 2 1.
Yeah.
Well
I think
deserved, I think,
Yeah,
yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only one I could see beating that was A Complete Unknown because they like the
Yeah.
whole live music aspect of it.
Yes.
Yes.
I think it was on one of the tours I did. I don't know whether it was Universal Studios or the Warner Brothers set, but I was somewhere in the States where I was in this booth, and it was a big screen, and there was a scene from the movie Gravity.
Oh, sick.
And there was this the whole sort of exhibition as part of this museum was breaking up the different sound aspects, and you had these
That's very
buttons and
cool.
you could take them in and out. So there
Oh,
was
like stems.
dialogue,
Yeah, that's cool.
then there was sound effects, then there was the music,
Okay.
then there was the Foley, there was all these things, and you realize in
Wow.
that moment, like just in
How
some
much
scene
goes
that
into it,
you take for complete granted, where there's bashing and speaking and all these things.
Yeah.
You know, I still think your average person doesn't understand Foley. They don't
Yes.
understand
Yeah.
that every splash, every step, every creak, every knock, every little fucking glass hitting the table is put in afterwards.
Yeah.
It's the thing is it's editing and sound design are the invisible art forms, right?
Yeah.
Like if you notice it's there, then it's doing a bad job.
Exactly.
If you don't notice it's there, then fucking phenomenal.
you notice it in like a student short,
Yeah.
where when the table gets put, when the glass gets put on the table and it's fucking loud, that's when you realize like, okay, that's why there's sound mixes.
Yeah.
But that's why also editing is also another strange category because
Yeah.
voters usually vote for something that's the flashiest.
Yes.
They don't take into account pacing.
The subtle of it.
Yeah, exactly. Or the right cut at the moment. So like Anora was fucking edited phenomenally.
Yeah.
But I mean,
because I didn't even think about it. Yeah.
exactly. But I mean, like Bohemian Rhapsody, when you watch that movie, you're like, this is edited, and it's badly edited, and that
Yes.
fucking won because even the guy who won it was shocked that he won. He was like, "How did I win?" Because it honestly felt like a cat walked on his
editing
yeah. I
table.
was like, "Oh, get out of here, Misty!" You know.
And then by the time he put it down and relooked the scene, he was like, "Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Oh, well done, Misty." Whose
Oscar
cat's,
goes to
whose
Misty.
cat's called Misty?
I don't know. I panicked. It came to me.
Okay, not bad.
All right, best visual effects. Alien Romulus, Better Man, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Wicked, and Dune Part 2.
Yeah, Dune
Big
won.
kid.
As the winner, Dune Part 2.
I would have liked to have seen Apes.
Dude, Planet of the
Apes or
Apes.
Better Man.
Yeah, Better Man was such an accomplishment.
It's
Like,
the year of the ape, man.
yes,
Yeah.
but like
Maybe
the
there
stuff,
were too many apes. Maybe that was the problem.
Too many damn fucking monkeys.
that
you know?
stuff, like, again, like I've said this before, we take a lot of the stuff for granted, but Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, some of the visual effects in that movie are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, they are so far ahead of everyone else in the
Actually,
industry.
It's worth checking out Corridor Digital reacting to it.
Yes, I remember they did.
Oh,
Like if you
cool.
want to
Yeah.
understand why it's good,
Yes.
I think they go through the process of describing that
Yeah.
scene.
What is that?
Oh,
a
the scene in
YouTube
the
channel or
river.
something?
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel, Corridor Digital.
Yeah.
And it's VFX artists reacting to good VFX or bad VFX.
Yeah.
And what they discuss there for that film is kind of just like, oh wow, that is fucking
I
incredible.
remember watching that scene that they're talking about. There's a scene that takes place in a river.
Yeah.
I remember when we watched that in the theater,
so
and
they're
I was
crossing
like,
the river, yeah.
how? Like,
How do you make that in a computer?
It sucks because it would have been justice for the previous Apes trilogy that didn't win a fucking single
Yeah,
thing.
it's wild.
And do you know what's crazy to me? I don't know if you see it differently. I think the visual effects on the last one was better than Kingdoms of the Apes, and it's older. There are points where you actually forget that they're fucking not actual monkeys talking
Yeah.
and
Yes,
acting. It's
absolutely.
insane.
This one they seem to have like personified them more, so they don't
Yeah.
look quite like
But I think
actual apes the way they did in the
but
previous
it
one.
makes sense because they've evolved. It's
Yeah,
been,
exactly. It's like thousands of years
Yeah,
later.
how many years?
I
did this-
can't remember exactly,
Let's,
but it's been a
sorry.
really long time.
How many
But-
years, Graham?
I can't be mad that June won because the visual effects in
Yeah,
the movie.
so
the thing
good.
about June is you don't even think about it as a visual effects
Exactly.
movie because the visual effects are so like perfectly integrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
I agree.
thousands of visual effects shots in that film, and you don't think about it as
Yeah.
a
Invisible art
VFX
form.
movie because it's
Invisible art
all.
form.
It's like so. The vision of it is so like complete because you have a guy like Denis Villeneuve like
Yeah.
crafting this
100%,
movie.
I
So
agree.
everything
Yes.
is like within the same like stylistic framework.
Yeah.
That's why the visual
It's a
effects like
good point.
integrate so perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, Dune.
Oh, yeah. Great movie. Okay. Writing, adapted screenplay. A Complete Unknown, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys, Sing Sing, and Winner Conclave.
Yeah,
Was
good
it
one.
a book?
Yeah.
I assume so. Either that or they put it in the wrong category and it won anyway.
No, but maybe it was something
King's
else, or
Speech.
it was a
Fuck
play
off.
or
Okay,
something.
okay.
That was more my question.
No, King's Speech, that pissed me off when I beat Inception to Best Original Screenplay. King's Speech is a
But we
fucking
talk.
play,
But we're talking. Oh,
and it was under Original Screenplay.
okay. I was about to say, why are you bringing this up?
Yeah.
But that makes sense.
Weird.
The Conclave deserved.
Okay,
but,
so this
yeah.
is obviously it's in the name, but just for the explanation, the difference is this comes from something.
Yes.
It's not an entirely original story.
Yeah.
And so we're assuming it's a book.
Yeah, it is a book. Yeah,
And okay.
yeah. Nickel Boys would have gotten my votes. I've read the book.
Okay.
And I was worried when the film they were going to do it entirely POV. So the POV switches. I thought it was only going to be the protagonist, but it switches between the two boys.
Okay.
But the way he wrote that is because it's cinema is the power to create empathy, right? By putting you literally in the shoes of these kids in a racist Jim Crow era boarding school
Okay.
is just unbelievable, and it's not straightforward as well. He'll write little moments like so that you get a feeling of being a person in this situation.
Sure. Wow.
So like paying attention to the hem of his mother's dress, or like little things that make up what being a person is.
And did you feel that in the book of Nickel Boys? Did they sort of point out the same kind of
Not like that. The
nuance?
book is a different feel. I feel like the reveals in the book are more powerful.
Right.
But wow, Nickel Boys is such a special
But
film.
sorry, was that nominated?
Yeah, it was.
It was nominated. Okay, but Conclave won.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm happy with it winning. It's
Cool.
a great screenplay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, nice.
lovely.
It's based on a 2016 novel by Robert Harris.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's an odd category because it kind of can come from anywhere. Like, did you guys know technically The Fast and the Furious is an adapted screenplay?
Oh, 'cause it's
based on...
Point
Sequel,
Break.
right?
No.
It's based
Because
on
it's
the movie it
based
ripped
on
off.
a article, from like a magazine
Oh,
article.
wow.
Yeah, that's where the guy got the idea from. Was he wrote like a whole article, like a journal thing about underground street racing.
I
That's where
think-
the movie came from.
Did Fargo? Because I remember, like, one of my favorite things about Fargo is it's based on a true story, and it's not
Yes.
at all. Like, I think it was under original screenplay. Yeah, it won original screenplay.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because everyone was like, "Oh, it's a true story," and they I love how the TV show just leaned into that every time as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, and like I
Yeah.
guess the Pirates of the Caribbean would be based off.
Yeah,
The,
because it's based on a ride.
It's based on a theme park.
Isn't
ride.
there another movie about someone believing that Fargo is actually real
Yes,
and looking for the
it's
money?
called it's Japanese. Well, a
Yes.
Japanese woman is in search of the duffel bag
Yeah.
in Fargo because she watched a tape and she thinks it's real.
Yeah.
It's so good. The
This is a
director's
documentary.
no, it's a film.
It's a film.
It's called I can't remember the name.
Yeah,
of
I
it,
can't remember what it's
but
called.
it's a
either.
great movie. The directors did a movie called Jesse Eisenberg plays a Yeti. Basically, it's a family of
Oh,
Yetis.
yes. I heard about
it looked
this.
like one of the weird movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it was called like
directed that.
Sasquatch Sunrise or
Yes,
something,
yes,
or
yes.
Sunset or something.
Sasquatch Sunset, I think.
Okay.
They directed that. It's a great movie.
Oh, really?
And it's
Okay.
that's based on a true story as well.
Okay.
So it's based on a true story of a fake story. You know what I mean? It's
Okay.
crazy.
Okay, writing original screenplay. The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, The Substance, and the winner was Honora.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Sean Baker at it again.
Yeah, my man.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen The Substance win.
Okay.
Just spread the wealth a little.
But it wasn't so much about the writing, although it is. Obviously, it's the point of the movie.
Yeah.
It's written. But it made sense that the crafty stuff got the Oscars for substance.
Yeah.
I think, Nora's a great script, though. It's a good category.
Yeah. It's often a very tough one.
Hmm.
Okay, so that cues us up for the next two awards. We're going on to directing now. The Brutalist, Brady Colbert, or Colbert, probably Colbert, A Complete Unknown for James Mangold, Emilia Perez, Jacques Audiard,
Audiel.
Yeah.
The Substance, Coralie Farget,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then the winner, obviously, Sean Baker for Honora.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
So at this point,
Very
it's also
happy.
worth mentioning that Complete Unknown hasn't won anything.
Yeah.
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 Luca Guadagnino should have been nominated for directing.
Sure.
Mm.
And
See.
it should have been nominated for original screenplay as well.
Okay.
But directing, I'm fucking happy. And
Yeah,
Sean
with the
Baker
winner,
won.
definitely.
Because also he's a proper indie filmmaker.
Yeah, that's something he said recently, where he's sort of given his thoughts and opinions on the cinema
it's at the
industry
Spirits-
and at the Spirit,
Spirit
Award.
Awards, yeah.
Okay.
He just sort of said, "I'm indie through and through."
Yeah.
So yeah.
One of the another funny thing in his editing speech, he's like, I just want to say, I watched the footage of that scene that they just showed, and I saved this movie. He's like, that director should never work again, which is a really funny little joke, like towards himself.
Sorry, say that again.
So with each editing thing, they show like a clip, right?
Yeah.
And it was the scene where they're all fighting in the house, where she's screaming, right?
Yes. And of course,
And-
it's absolute chaos.
Yeah, and he went up there and he's like, okay, I've just got to tell you that I saw all the footage of that day, and I got to tell you, I saved this movie. And he was like, this director should never work again.
Okay. The
Yeah,
joke
'cause
being he
you
was the
get
director.
the footage and
Yeah.
you have to fix it, right? You
Yeah,
have
so
to make it work.
he was probably like, fuck, I really fucked
this up.
No, it
But,
was intense set piece because
Yeah.
she was being held down. They
Yeah.
were fighting. It
But the
was-
real miracle of that scene is that it's really funny.
It's so
Like,
funny.
how do you make a
Yeah.
home invasion funny?
yeah, no,
Like,
and
that's
then of course the
incredible.
What the
nuance
fuck
of
are you doing? Why are you she's gonna run. Just untie her.
It's like, why are you
she's gonna
panicking?
run. Yeah. That guy should have actually been nominated.
Yes.
The Godfather to
Yeah.
the son.
definitely.
Oh my fucking god, he's so fun. He's in almost every Sean Baker movie.
Okay.
He's
Is it?
in Tangerine. He was
He's the
in
Defoe to the.
Yeah, he's so
Whatever
good.
director.
And he's Armenian. He's so funny, man. Yeah.
Okay. I think this is actually a good thing for James Mangold as well, because the internet has such a short memory. They'll go, okay, James Mangold has made mostly really good movies, and then he makes a
biopics.
bad Indiana Jones movie, and everybody goes, oh, he's a bad director.
Yeah, people have short
Oh, right.
memories.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now it turns, he actually does know what he's doing. Let's remember that.
Yeah, I mean, Walk the Line is one of the best music biopics ever.
Yeah, I don't think we should ever judge directors when they're making like $300 studio movies.
Exactly.
Because they have no control.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
shock
their
it,
film.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just worth pointing out that for
Chloe Zhao, Jesus.
for Sean Baker, it was small. It was tiny. I
Yeah.
mean, it
Yeah.
really, apart from perhaps getting a jet, maybe some Vegas scenes closed down,
Yeah.
but you can always get access to a mansion. Apart from that, like, it's indie as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
To the
that's-
point where actually, like, the lighting is a bit shit. Not shit, but it's natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's like it's often very dark and very dull in the movie, but so he shouldn't have gotten any kind of cinematography nods, but that could be something that anyone could make anywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And how amazing is it that it could be a stripper from Boxburg and it could be Nigerian parents.
Yeah.
Like it could have been anyone anywhere. Could have won at Cannes and won all these awards at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also, I mean, but that's also the ethos of Sean Baker is that anyone can do it. I mean, Tangerine was shot on an iPhone, iPhone 5, actually. But also, that's one thing that also I knew that Sean Baker was an easy win for Best Director is that he was also nominated for editing. Same with Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. He got cinematography, and they were like, shit, this guy shot his own movie. Director as well, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's easy vote for voters, I'd say.
Cool.
Interesting.
Hey, Zack Snyder also shot his last couple of movies. Where's his Oscar?
He won the fan favorite moment.
the most
Oscar.
important
Forgot about
Oscar.
that.
And he won the blockbuster Oscar.
They don't have those categories anymore.
No,
No, they
which
did
is-
it once. And
Yeah.
They did it once and it was a
Nah.
terrible idea. It was so funny when that happened.
It was best fan cheer
Oh my
moment or
God,
something stupid.
and the Flash moment.
Yes.
So
Which
So-
won because of bots.
watching that was so cringe because there was not a peep in the audience when it happened. They were like, "What the fuck was that?" Like, and then I love because Zack Snyder fans are delusional. Yes, you Zack Snyder fans. I always get suggested these pages on Facebook, so I see it all the time.
That's Reddit for me.
Yeah, Jesus. And like, I remember when he won, they were like, congratulations to our Oscar winning director. And he's photoshopped holding 2 Oscars. And they're like, oh, finally, the Oscars, we can take it seriously now. Sorry, but I'll be in the cold, dead ground before we recognize Justice League as an Oscar winning movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't get me wrong, I kind of like that movie, but know your place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know your place.
Okay, so Best Picture.
Yay.
Nominees: The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, Wicked, and the winner, Anora.
Yeah.
It feels,
I think it's the movie we all wanted to win out of these at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning that the on Sunday during the day, just amongst us movie nerds, we were like, I was like,
Yes.
lock in your choice.
Yeah.
And my choice was Honora.
Yeah.
I
Cole's.
said the Brutalist, but I wanted Anora.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you said it. Yeah, it's
So
obviously
just
just
mix things up.
mixed
Yeah.
things. You
Yeah.
said,
I said Conclave based on the SAG ensemble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you locked it in. You
Yeah,
locked in
I wanted
Conclave.
Anora to win.
Yeah, I said we all said we wanted Anora, but I said A Complete Unknown because I thought
Yeah.
they were going to play it safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to win that one.
Nice.
I just find it funny that so in the order what's under Emilia Perez?
Let me check for you quickly. Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here.
That is Emilia Perez asking, "I'm still here" in that category. How is it even-
Hey. No, but
yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
very
good.
happy. It's a great
Yeah.
movie.
Great, yeah, I'm happy. Honora won 5 Oscars
Yeah.
for them being Sean Baker. Fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, that's a good night.
Yes.
Very
I can
good night.
I can
Yeah.
think of him sleeping well that
Yeah.
night. Good.
Yep.
That's good. What is crazy is the fact that for these actors and for these people, they made this film quite a long time ago. I always think the timelines are funny
Right.
because it played at Cannes, which is in May, early May.
Yes.
And it won it in 2014. It would have needed to have been seen and picked for to be in the contest, which should have.
2023, yeah.
So by the end of 2023, they would have wrapped it.
Yeah.
And it's just so wild that in 2025, you get to sort of reap the rewards of it. People forget the timeline, and they forget how Mikey Madison's probably done like 2 or 3 movies since.
Yeah.
She's got to remember what it was like to act back in when they would have shot it would have been mid 2023, early 2023.
Yeah.
I think it's also a good sign as well, because like Graeme said, the safe choice would have been A Complete Unknown, Conclave even. Emilia Perez musical, Wicked musical. Like, I'm loving this shift. I mean, every year the Oscars do get some things wrong, namely this year Emilia Perez getting so many nominations.
But we're almost smartening up to it and not actually giving them the awards this time.
That's what I'm saying.
Where in previous years, these films also won.
Yeah, so but you're seeing a shift. The voters are getting younger. They're getting more open-minded. That's why you saw Everything Everywhere All at Once win 6 Oscars.
And Parasite,
but then you do get the occasional Green Books and, the crashes of the world and stuff. But then it's cool that they're rewarding a film that is so un-Oscar. I mean, Nora should not be an Oscar caliber. Like, on paper, it's not Oscar caliber in terms of the prestige of, these are, straight laced movies, moving pictures and stuff like that. So it's cool to see something that's so fucking raucous and so wild and so energetic win it.
Yeah, and I've been appreciating, as the Bioscope's been able to unlock and screen these movies, that we are getting these young, bold films. That the Nosferatus and the Sean Baker stuff, they're wild, they're vulgar, they're grotesque in some ways, they're filled with all kinds of sex. They're these bold swings. They don't feel like The English Patient.
Yeah.
To me, that feels like that's the sort of Oscar film, you know?
I mean,
these sort of swooning
exactly, beating Goodfellas. Come on.
fucking things. But it's cool that it feels young and energetic. So lovely, guys.
Yes.
I want to I would love to take a little moment just to tell you about some of the TV shows. But before we get on to that, last thoughts on Oscars. We happy? We good?
Yeah. Okay. So outside of who was actually nominated, who do you guys think should have won Best Picture?
Outside of
across the whole year, who should have gotten Best Picture? I'm going to say Sing Sing.
Yeah, no, that to me still deserved so much more. Yeah.
Agreed.
I think that was just such
so
a special movie.
Yeah.
And it was doing so much for the world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it really just, it did something.
Yeah, it was a really special movie.
It was about humanity, you know?
Yeah, outside of the nominations, it was my pick for one of my favorite films of the year was Do Not Expect Too Much from the End of the World.
Oh, yes. I remember you bringing that up.
That'll never fucking win. But Roddy Jude, man, fucking what a talent. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, Lovey, it's a good question.
And I saw the TV Glow was just completely neglected.
That was never going to be nominated today.
Yeah.
It's too left of field.
Yeah, it is.
Way too left of field, but great movie.
But often those movies live on.
Yeah. We were saying next time we do our favorite picks, we must do our personal categories. So yours is best gooey, mine's best big swing. I think I saw the TV Glow's best big swing of the year.
Okay,
big swing movie.
For me, the most gooey, best gooey would have been Sing Sing.
Oh yes,
I fucking ugly cried that.
My favorite jump scare of the year.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Were the leg breaks in
Challenges.
Substance and Challenges.
Yeah.
There's the leg break in each of those movies.
Big year for leg breaks.
You're just sitting there and I was saying fuck, Jesus Christ, you know.
It's brutal, eh?
Yes.
What can your category be, Peter?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
You got to give it a think.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that.
Most obscure gem. And it'd probably be go with the needle, black and white Danish film.
Yeah, about baby killer in 1900s.
Yes. The most obscure is the most obscure, but brilliant, but fucking brilliant. That's
no one else has heard of it except for Perrin. That's
the best hang dong movie. So the best penis in a movie.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's going to Honora as well.
And the award goes to?
The award goes to... Ooh, where did I see Schlong?
Jesus.
No, Nora. It was criminally one frame. I was like, come on. We need more dick in this movie, guys.
Oh, Nosferatu. Some vampire dong.
Of course, yeah, vampire dong. It's Nosferatu.
You know, it really subverted our expectations, you know, because I know Robert Eggers, you guys saw The Northman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That the volcano fight scene where they're fighting naked.
Yes.
He wanted schlong in that scene,
Yeah.
so we need the dong cut for that.
Release the dong cut.
No, because that would have been such a primal scene. These two naked men fighting each other in
It's
a
like
volcano.
that Viggo Mortensen film in the
Oh,
Russian
Eastern
Mafia.
Promises.
Yeah, it's like
great
Viggo
scene.
just like annihilating these oaks with his dick hanging out.
But
dude.
but that's
Aragorn.
an interesting power flex where it's
Yeah.
like not only are we going to fight, I got an idea.
Let's fight
Got
naked.
your dick out, dude.
Yeah.
But that's a
Let's fight naked.
that scene in Eastern Promises. I think it's in a sauna, and it's like so
Yes.
fucking bloody, and he's just naked with peen everywhere.
it's a tough day at the office.
Yeah, I do appreciate a good peen in a movie because
Yeah.
That's amazing.
yeah, like I mean, I remember one stage whenever a penis was out, it was immediate NC-17.
Yeah.
Immediate.
Yeah.
Like,
Remember Fucking Shame? Michael
oh yes.
Fassbender.
Oh,
Yo, it's
one
a
of the
close-up,
greats.
dude. It's like the best penis.
and he's it's massive.
It's so big.
No,
Most of the
it's
time, they're
huge.
So
stunt
well
penises,
hung.
just so
and
you
that's
guys know.
that's
They're-
flaccid peen as well.
Yeah.
They're usually stunt penises, just so you
They're
guys
usually-
know.
No,
Yeah.
it's not Boogie Night situation. That's a real peen.
Yeah, that's a real peen.
Yeah, we know.
I can
Please.
tell.
Or the Jane Campion masterpiece. Not the piano, it's called Harvey's Dong.
Oh yeah, he hang dong in Bad Lieutenant as well in front
He
of
likes
Nora.
to hang dong.
Yeah,
Because he did it in the piano.
yeah.
Where he's
exactly.
like, do you want to play the piano? Or
Want to blow my dick? But yeah, Shame, one of the best on-screen performances of all time.
Yeah, it's next level.
I'm not talking about his penis. I'm
That's
talking
what
about
goes
him.
down.
and the award goes to
Michael Fassbender.
Fast
Okay, so
bend
that's
up.
going to be our.
That's our clip.
Let's like make this for a future episode. We're gonna have best hang dong of all
the
time.
week.
No, of like of all time.
Okay,
We're gonna
cool,
make
I
a
got
list
you.
of like a top 10,
When
and
you
we're gonna
said-
talk about it.
when
Okay,
you
I
when-
love it.
when
Yeah.
you introduced that, I was like, is that a Korean filmmaker?
Hang dong.
I'm not familiar with it. I'm not familiar with his work.
I'm not familiar with your game.
It's so bad.
Oh my
It
god.
is so terrible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the listeners.
No, that was
I'm
loaded.
sorry, I'm comfortable with my sexuality. Jesus.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. I want to tell you guys very quickly, because I'm sure we've been going on for a bit,
Yeah.
about two really great TV shows. The first one is a little more obvious. It's the big Netflix fun comedy called Running Point with Kate Hudson.
Oh.
It's actually worth your time. It is. You can clearly see the group behind it were like, let's do a Ted Lasso.
Right.
Let's do like an American-based Ted Lasso, but a bit more female-centered. So Kate Hudson is part of effectively like the Lakers, the LA Lakers, but they're called the LA Waves in
cool.
this. And it's a very wealthy family that own the basketball team, and she gets put in charge.
Right.
So it's like the unlikely person at the helm, nice ensemble. So similar to Ted Lasso, how we got to know the players and their different kooky dynamics. Here we got the players as well. And it's good.
Cool.
Mindy Kaling is behind it. Ike Barinholtz, who are smart comedic writers, are behind it. It's got its moments of silly, just like Ted Lasso. But they're clearly like choosing all the things that worked, changing some other things so that it's not identical.
Yeah.
But I immediately thought of Ted Lasso, which is lovable. So we were breezing through it yesterday,
Nice.
which is definitely worth your time. That's over on Netflix.
Cool.
And then another one, and I want to tell this. I'm staring Cole in the eyes for this. A lovely TV show on Disney Plus called No Taste Like Home, and it is the show of Anthony Porowski. Do you know?
Queer
I
Eye.
love
Yes.
your Queer Eye
So
boy.
we-
Yummy. Yeah.
Just
Very
like-
yummy.
yummy.
Just like we have been advocating for Sing Sing
Yeah.
over in the television world, here at the video store, we love Queer Eye. Which, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you now. You got fucking 8 seasons of
Gooey goodness.
gooey goodness, a celebration of what it means to be fucking human.
Yeah.
And all these guys, so it used to be called Queer Eye for the straight guy, now it's just Queer Eye. You've got an ensemble cast of very lovable men who specialize in different aspects to help change someone's life. And definitely for me, one of the most lovable is Anthony, who handles the food aspect of someone's life. Often the characters of Queer Eye are people that are too busy to look after themselves. They're too busy doing good for everyone else in their community. They're often quite unhealthy because they just eat frozen food. So he often is the person that comes in to help them come up with quick solutions and healthy habits that can change.
Right.
Lovable dude, handsome.
He's very.
So they
he's
now
so hot.
they
Jesus.
now all are getting their own shows, and they are now branching off and becoming their own sort of celebrities. So this is a National Geographic show where they've kind of taken the formula of Find Your Roots, which was a very famous TV show where famous celebrities they get their whole lineage researched and they sort of basically sit down and go through a book and goes, oh, your great grandfather was a slave or did this or invented that, and these people go, oh my god, I can't believe it.
Right.
But Anthony is doing that for famous folk through food.
Oh.
So the starting point is a family recipe,
Right.
and then he'll trace back, obviously a team of researchers, to tell the story of their lineage, but through the food that they would have made,
Right.
through the food that they would have eaten, and it's delightful. It is the beautiful formula of Queer Eye, where you get these lovely heartfelt moments. You learn a little bit of fucking history, which is great. But there's delightful moments. The characters that they've gotten for this first season are the likes of Florence Pugh, Awkwafina, Justin Theroux.
Oh fuck yeah! The brother to Louis, the cousin to Louis Theroux.
The guy from Beetlejuice. He was
They're
Winona
cousins.
Ryder's. Yeah. And he's also in Running Point,
Right.
the
Fucking love
Netflix
Justin
show.
Theroux. He also has a great dong. Wow.
Okay. He
Thanks.
actually plays a great character
Gonna Google this.
in Running Point over on Netflix. He's a coke addict
Right.
who actually was in charge of the team, and he goes into rehab, and then he puts Kate Hudson in charge. And
Very
he's
cool.
funny. He's so funny in the show. But yeah, it's delightful, and you go to all parts of the world. It's shot beautifully, especially the Awkwafina one. She
Love
she
Awkwafina.
wasn't too aware of her Korean heritage.
Okay.
Oh really? Korean?
Yeah,
Interesting.
there was a
She's-
combination
was
of
Chinese, yeah.
Chinese and Korean, but
Yeah.
there was a Korean link.
That's cool.
And just this moment where she sort of feels like she doesn't know anyone or have any link to any heritage, and they're in this village,
Nice.
and he's like, everyone in this village is your family. Because that's how it
That's
works,
cool.
right?
Yes.
You have to, you keep this whole family in this village, and if you want to marry, you got to marry someone from another village.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's like, everyone in this village is your family, and she just breaks down. It's great.
Sorry, on the related note to the Oscars in this discussion,
Yeah.
one of the funny things that Conan O'Brien has said at one point is that he did an ancestry test thing,
Yeah.
and he said like it's extremely rare when you're 100% one thing.
Yeah.
He's 100% Irish,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm pretty sure I'm incest. I'm a result of incest.
Sure.
Because like he said, like even in Ireland, there are people who are like 70% Irish and like 20% Scottish or this, and he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm a result of incest.
Funny. In Iceland, there is a website that you can use to not work out if the person you're dating is a family member. It's how much of a family member they are.
Oh wow!
Because Iceland is just
like
so
so
remote.
tiny.
yeah.
Everyone in Iceland could fit in Soccer City.
I see.
And they're also the horniest
crazy.
people in the world.
No. Sorry, I'm
Really?
lying. It's
There's a
300,000.
study.
Wow.
Like,
It's
like-
there's 300,000 people in
Still very little people.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like the
Crazy.
amount based on the amounts of sex they have on average.
Well, what else is there to
Wow.
do?
yeah,
It's a
no,
beautiful
totally.
country.
They just
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, they used to be Vikings. So yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But listen, on that note, guys,
Yeah.
it was lovely. Perrin, go get some sleep.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No, we honestly
Hanging on by
appreciate you
thread.
Being our
Um,
guy on the
thanks.
being
front
a guy.
lines.
Previous Oscar episodes, we had a Cole once that did
Oh, yes.
did the live watch.
Mm.
This time last year, the Bioscope was open for a TikTok event
Jeez.
Oh,
where we
that's cool.
had influencers stay the whole night at the Bioscope.
That's very cool.
I'd
actually.
left by like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
because at that point I was
It's
like,
a young
"Fuck
man's
this."
game, man.
Yeah.
It is a young man's game. All right. But Laka, thank you guys. We appreciate you for listening. And our home base is thevideostore.co.za. And we hope to see you again next week.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
TTFN.
Oi.
Tune in next week for Hang Dong episode.